Hello everyone, welcome to our next session on our learning series. So yesterday we have created this program and we have executed an example for inheritance, okay? And we have created this program and we have seen the results, how the inheritance works, okay? Let's go through the program again in debug mode, how different methods are being called, okay? So you so this is our beginning of the program where we have declared go airplane. This will be object with reference to class airplane, okay, and this cargo is also a object reference to cargo plane. Passenger is object reference to passenger plane. Then gt airplane is an internal table which can store multiple objects of class airplane, okay. So here you can see, right, gt airplane type table of reference to lcl airplane. So this is an internal table which can hold multiple objects, and then gv count equal to type I. So first we are calling the static method of class airplane to see how many objects are there. Then we are creating the object go underscore passenger. Then we are creating an object go cargo. So once both the objects are created, we are calling the display attributes method using object of passenger class and using object of cargo class. Then we are counting the total number of airplanes, okay. See, now let's understand this program using debugger, okay. Put a breakpoint here, execute this one. Now go to the desktop 3. Yes, this is the scene. So now the first statement to be executed is display number of airplanes from class airplane, okay. Now press F5 to see here it goes to the class implementation of airplane, and then it is calling the class constructor and it is selecting airplane from SF plane, okay. So there are 34 plane types, right? So this is, you see, class constructor, okay. And after that it will go to this particular method, display number of airplanes, okay. So whenever you access first time to a class, it will call the static constructor of the class, then it will call this method, okay. So here it is calculating these attributes. This is the private attributes of airplanes, okay. So after that it is going to create the object go underscore passenger, okay. That means it will first call the constructor of the class passenger, okay. Press F5. So here you are trying to create the object of class passenger plane, okay, but it is calling the constructor of super. Now F5. So this is the plane name and plane type we have passed while calling that constructor or creating object of the class passenger, and whatever you are seeing here, it is in the super class airplane, okay. So here it is getting the get technical attributes, see. So from the internal table gt plane type, it is getting the weight and tank capacity for the plane. Okay, and here it is. So the object is successfully created, right? So here it is counting this GV number of planes to 1. Okay, okay, here it is. See, this GV number of airplanes is 1. Okay, so now it ends the constructor of super method. Then seats, it is 345 seats for this airplane, and this seats is part of the subclass attribute. Okay, this seats is not defined in the superclass. Similarly, in the next, we are creating this cargo object of cargo class. Okay, so here we have passed this name, plane type, and this cargo capacity. Okay, press F5. So it is going to the constructor of cargo plane. Then it is inside, it is calling the constructor of superclass, right? F6, because we have already seen what happened, right? So in the superclass constructor, it is passing this information and getting the capacity, load capacity. It is getting the weight and tank capacity for that plane, and then inside this constructor it is assigning this IV underscore cargo, and this cargo capacity is specific to the class cargo plane. Okay, so now this cargo object also created. Now we are calling this display attributes of passenger class. Okay, so when you go to the display attributes, it is inside calling the display attributes of superclass, and apart from that superclass attributes, it is writing the seats, how many seats are there, and seats are attributes of the subclass. Okay, press F5 and see how superclass method is being executed. See, and then again it is calling the display attributes for go cargo. So in go cargo, it is calling the same display attributes of superclass, and specific to the subclass, it is displaying the cargo capacity. At the end, it is calling the static method or class method of get number of airplanes from superclass. Okay, so these 4 lines are being displayed from the superclass, and this seats 345, that is being displayed from subclass. Similarly, here also the 4 fields are getting displayed from the superclass, and the max cargo capacity, that is displayed from the subclass, right? So the next thing we need to see is what is a casting. Okay, so we will see upper cast now. So what is casting? So when you are assigning 2 different type of objects to each other, then one object will be converted into the second type. Okay, for example, if you are assigning this integer a numeric field to integer, then the numeric contents of the numeric is automatically converted to of type integer. Okay, so that is called as casting. So in class, what happens? There are 2 type of casting. One is upcast and one is downcast. Okay, so let's see an upcast. And in object oriented concept, The restriction with the casting is, this casting is only applicable with superclass and subclass. Okay. Now here I will append this object. Okay. And here also so I have created this go passenger object and go cargo object, and I am appending both this object to gt underscore airplanes internal table, and this gt underscore airplane internal table is of type airplane. Okay, airplane is the superclass, whereas the passenger plane and cargo plane, they both are subclasses. Okay, so I am assigning this subclass object to gt airplanes, that is of type superclass. Okay, now let's see, is there any error? uh, so here gt airplanes is unknown, but there is a similar name gt airplane. Okay, so the additional s need to be removed. See, there is no error. Now let's see, is there any object for superclass? So this is the object of superclass go airplane. Okay, now I am commenting this to, so all the objects has been added to the internal table of type superclass, right? gt airplane is internal table of type superclass. So okay, so here we call this method as okay. So that is what was missing. So here what we see, let's go through it again. So we have created an object go passenger, that is subclass, and we are appending this subclass object to superclass internal table. Okay, means internal table of type superclass. Similarly we do the same for cargo. Now we are running a loop into superclass internal table of type superclass into object of type superclass. So go airplane is superclass object, but when you loop into gt airplane into go airplane, so gt airplane has objects of subclasses, and that object being assigned to the object go airplane of superclass, and then we are using this go airplane display attributes. Okay, now activate this one and see the output. So though we are calling display attributes using the object of superclass, right, it is still calling the display attributes method of subclass, right, because this GT airplane has objects of subclasses, and that subclasses been converted to Go airplane object. And when you use the Go airplane object and display attributes, but inside it has an object of subclass, right? So that is why this display attribute is calling the subclass specific methods. Okay, so now you understand what is upper caste, right? So let's see it in debug mode also. I am putting the debugger here where our Go passenger and Go airplane, both the objects are ready. Okay, now execute this one. If you see this GT airplane, you can see this GT airplane object, a GT airplane internal table. First record, it has an object of LCL passenger plane. Second, it is object of LCL cargo plane. Okay. Now when you go to this loop, check the object that is assigned to Go airplane. So inside this Go airplane, it still has the object of passenger plane. Okay, so that is why when you call this display attribute method, it is calling the method of this subclass passenger plane. Okay, so now for the second loop, this Go airplane has the object of LCL cargo plane. Okay, so that is why when you execute this display attributes method, it is calling the display attribute method of the subclass cargo. Okay, that is why you are seeing there is no difference in the output with previous output. Okay, so now upward casting is clear. So next we will see, let's see a different concept called as polymorphism. Okay, so we will discuss now what is polymorphism. Okay, so let's create one more class. This is carrier class. Okay, it has methods constructor, display attributes, and add airplane. Okay, and it has some private properties and private method called as display airplane. Okay, now we are implementing this carrier class. So this is our constructor method, and then we are displaying the attributes where it calls display airplane of the same object. Okay, and then add airplane. So here it is appending airplane to this empty airplane. Okay, means a plane type object, it will append an object of a plane to the table type internal table empty airplanes. Okay, then here we have the display airplanes where it will loop at this empty airplane to plane object and flow plane object to display attributes. Okay, the same thing whatever we have did in our previous examples, right? Same thing it will be done on the methods of LCL carrier. Okay, so here let's create one more object. Okay, okay, so now we have already creating the object of passenger and cargo, right? Remove this one as of now. Let's create an object of type carrier. Okay, okay, 3D printer. So we have created this object go carrier, then we are creating this object go passenger. Okay, so here we were adding this go passenger to GTA airplane, right? But instead of this, let's comment this one. Okay, instead of this, let pass go underscore carrier. Okay, then add airplane, and here you pass this go passenger object that is being created. Okay, okay, so similarly you have created this cargo object, comment this one. Okay, then okay, so we were directly appending this go cargo to GTA airplane, but here we are using this carrier method add airplane. Okay, this add airplane is a method in class LCL carrier, right? Now comment this one. Now instead of this, let's call the display method of carrier. Okay, now let's see. Okay, activate this one and execute. You can see the results are same. Okay, so in this case we are calling the display attributes method of object go carrier. Okay, but go carrier, now see in debug mode. Okay, so if you see this go carrier class, okay, it has an attribute called as empty airplanes. Okay, and if you see this empty airplanes, it is an internal table which has the objects of class passenger plane and class cargo plane, right? You can see in the second line, right? And when you are calling this method as display attributes, it is going to that particular class. Okay, display attributes, and here it is calling this display airplanes. Okay, this is a method of superclass. Okay, see, this is display airplanes, and inside this you can see this attributes empty airplanes into plane, and then super display attributes. So it is calling this display attributes of that particular class which object type is there in the empty planes. Okay, so for second object, this yellow plane, if you see, it has the object of cargo plane. Okay, so it will go to the method of the cargo plane. See, this is the method of cargo plane. So here what you see, so when the method display attributes is being called, this display attributes method behaves differently for different subclasses. Okay, so that means one method which is behaving differently in different classes. So that is like multiple forms of a same method. So that is why it is being called as polymorphism. Okay, so next we will see downcasting. Okay, so before explaining, let's comment these codes that we have added. Okay, and uncomment our previous codes. So previously what happened, here we are adding this subclass objects to superclass object. Okay, so in this case also, this go airplane is our superclass object. So inside this we are calling this display attributes of superclass method. Okay, so let's comment this one. Now we will assign this back to the subclass. Okay, okay, go cargo, then question mark symbol, then equal to, okay, so we need to give exception. Okay, don't worry about these exceptions now. Okay, so this is the go airplane object. We'll have the object of subclass passenger plane and cargo plane. Okay, so here I am reassigning this go airplane object to cargo object. Okay, but this GT airplane have two objects. Like, let's put a breakpoint here, then we will understand. Okay, execute desktop 3. If you see this GT airplane, it has objects of passenger plane and cargo plane. Okay, now when the first loop happens, this go airplane is having the object of passenger plane. Okay, so we are trying this. Okay, but we are assigning this passenger plane object to go cargo. Okay, which is not possible because go cargo is object of type cargo plane. So it will catch that error and it will say plane is not a cargo plane. Okay, then for the second loop, this go airplane has the object of type cargo plane, right? Now it will try. Yes, right. So here I missed. Okay, activate this one. I am removing this one. Okay, see, only this cargo plane is being displayed. Okay, and for passenger plane you are getting this message, plane is not a cargo plane, right? Now you understand what is a downcast. So downcast is only applicable when the object of subclass is already assigned to the object of superclass, and again you are assigning back the same object of superclass to the same subclass. Okay, and the difference between downcast and upcast is when you are this using this append go cargo to GT airplane, so you are making like a direct assignment, there is no special things. But when you are assigning an object of superclass to cargo place, you need to put this question mark. Okay, so if only this superclass object contains an object of subclass, then only it will be assigned back to the object of subclass. So that is why when you are doing the downcast, we have to use the try and we have to catch error if any. So we have to use the try catch blocks. Okay, so this covers our whole of inheritance concepts. Okay, if there is any doubt or anything, please ask in the comment sections. See you all in the next class. Next class we are going to see. So this is next class we are going to see some global classes. Okay, once that is done, our object oriented concepts are done. There is nothing else. Okay, and after that we will see ALV reports and other things in normal app. Okay, till then, see you. Bye, take care.